Awesome.
All right. So, hi, Alison, Stuckey, and
Hello.
good evening to all of those who are watching. Tonight we have the awesome Alison Stuckey on with us for our call for HHW Online. Tonight we are talking about the importance of being in touch with our empath, with our inner empath, and finding that and why it's important with Alison. So Alison is the founder of Live, Love, and Joy. She is a spiritual mentor, a Reiki practitioner. You don't teach Reiki yet, Alison, but you do practice it. Yes.
Yeah, loosely through my mentoring. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you're also an intuitive, and you do so many things. So, but
Yes.
tonight I love this topic. We've talked about some pretty interesting things on these calls with you, and tonight we're going to talk about our inner empath. So let's just jump into it and share with me what you mean by empath. What is an empath?
All right. So as I'm navigating and getting deeper and deeper and deeper into my spiritual growth, I'm finding there are way more empaths out there than I guess we acknowledged before. We've always been there, but people are cluing into it. So it's becoming really important. Probably the biggest question I have is how to deal with it. If you are an empath, it's been a recurring theme in my discussions with people. So if you're an empath, you either feel energy of others. It can be people, it can be animals, it's usually just people. And you also absorb that energy, and that's what makes this so crucial. Number one, you can feel it, so you react to it if you don't know what that is. And number two, if you're absorbing it, that can directly influence you and affect you, which can completely mess up your life if you don't know what's going on. So this has been a huge, huge, huge topic of conversation with a lot of people lately. Sorry, I just put down some notes. So, yeah, I covered everything I wrote down, so that's good. I don't want to miss anything.
Okay, so an empath is someone who is
Energetically attuned. So you read energy, because everything is energy. Everybody is energy. Everybody emits energy and absorbs it. Well, empaths absorb it, but everybody emits energy. So you'll feel that, like if you walk into a room and your back goes up, there's somebody in there whose energy is not aligned with you. You're not in sync with people. You're not on the same wavelength. When you're having that really difficult conversation and you it just doesn't click, nothing makes sense, you're like, wow, that person really was not my person. I didn't understand anything they were saying. You have different energies, and they're basically like two magnets, opposing magnets, not connecting, and they're not
right.
coming together. They're bouncing off each other, and that energy can really affect us depending where we are. Because if our energy is high and somebody else's is low, it can be taken from us, and our energy will come down. And if we're in a low energy and we meet somebody in a low energy as well, it's just a complete drain on an empath. And if you're not attuned and know what that is, that can really affect you. And you might even think, if you're not aware you're even an empath, you might think, oh my God, I went crazy. What just happened? But if you're aware of it, you can deal with it, which is the key.
I love this. Okay, so I had this experience about 2 hours ago. Uh,
Okay.
Literally, my phone rang, and
Excuse
my
me.
inner knowing didn't want to answer, but I answered anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
my energy after that phone call shifted from, like, I was feeling great to, and like my husband actually did that. Like he did, like it was like a plane just like went like this.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
how do we then? Okay, I don't mean to be jumping ahead here, but um, so you're an empath if you are someone who like really feels the energy, or like you said, is really attuned to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like a lot of people in my life are empaths, but I could be wrong. I mean, what do you feel?
Yeah, there's more and more of us out there, and as we come, oh my goodness, as we become more spiritually aware, and our spiritual growth grows, and we become more attuned to everything in our spirit, our intuition. Often empaths are also highly intuitive. It just goes together. That's what you experienced. You knew you didn't
Yeah,
want to, you shouldn't answer the phone, but you did anyway.
yeah,
You have to trust that intuition. So if you don't want to answer the phone, don't answer it, because you're usually right as an empath. And that's our spirit guiding us, and that's our spirit saving us from that up and down, energetic up and down, which the energy is directly related to the emotions. So different emotions resonate at different levels. So the bad emotions resonate at a really low energy level, and the good emotions, love, joy, happiness, gratitude, they resonate at a really high energetic level. So that that's something that can be affected if somebody is in a very low energy and you're an empath. That will directly impact on you, and not only will it change your energy, that's directly related to your emotional state as well.
right,
Yeah.
right. So how do we then protect our state when we do get caught in the crossfires?
Yeah.
How do we protect that?
Yeah. Number one, you have to go out if you're a known empath. If you know you are an empath, that's part of the thing. You have to get to the point where you actually understand, okay, that's what this is.
Yeah. Well,
You'll
I do
be
now.
affected.
I
Yeah,
do now. Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So empaths, you're going to be affected by large crowds. So all of that mixed energy, because everybody has an um, energetic, what we call it? They just have energy around them wherever they are. They can be high energy, they can be low energy, they can be in tune with you, they can be completely off. But everybody, we all exchange energy. We're exchanging energy now. Even over the internet, we're exchanging energy, because you have an energetic frequency that's what happened on the phone call. You weren't physically in the presence, but the energy was exchanged. It is more powerful if you are in the presence of somebody, definitely. And if you're going into a crowd, for instance, you're dealing with a ton of different energies. If you're going to, I know myself, I have to really prepare myself if I'm going to a conference, or if I'm going to a sporting event, if I'm riding the subway, because there's so much. It's for me, because I'm very in tune with this, and I am a very profound empath, so I get affected really, really, really quickly. It it's like a bombardment of all this energy, and I have to protect myself, especially if I'm going into large crowds. As I said, riding the TTC affects me because you're also in a confined space, so there's nowhere to release it. And when you're in those situations, you have to physically protect your energy and yourself. So on those days, I do grounding meditation. So I bring in light and love and spread it through my body. And I basically, it's meditation. I've talked about this before. Bring it in through your crown chakra. It comes down, fills your heart, and then you take it down and ground yourself, the light from source coming down through your crown chakra and grounding yourself into the ground. Literally, you picture yourself growing roots, rooting yourself into the ground. Then you bring it back up. You emit it out to all of your extremities, and then out through your pores. So the light's coming from source. So source, God, the universe, whatever your thing is, that's where your energy is coming from to power you to be able to resist this. So it comes to the point where it's coming out of your pores, and you have this. I kind of picture it like I'm emitting little beams of light from all of my pores. So it goes out definitely in my aura, definitely in my personal space, and it can go beyond. When I don't do this, I have been in a mall, a very, very packed mall, and have been starting to feel it going, oh, I forgot to ground. So I will stop. I will have a little really quick moment, zip myself up literally from your root chakra up over your head. You just picture it. You don't actually do it because people are going to think you're crazy. And then from the back, so the zips meet at your crown chakra. So you just zip up from your crown chakra front and back, and you do it 3 times. I have also envisioned, my favorite thing is I've envisioned like a jelly around me. And it sounds kind of crazy because you think a jelly will absorb everything, but my jelly is like something things can bounce off. So when this energy is coming at me, it just bounces off my jelly. So I just envision myself a blob, the movie The Blob, and it just envelops me and everything bounces off. Some people put a shield as where the rose was in the Beauty and the Beast under the glass, just something like that over themselves, but something to protect them so nothing can come in. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but it's imperative if you are an empath to protect yourself, especially if you're going into a large crowd situation. You can do it on the spot. It's pretty easy.
Very cool. Very cool. And so what are some other things that empaths need to know? You know, and one of the things that's coming to mind is that, like, people will be watching this and saying, well, that's exactly, like, I feel this every day, right? So how else is it affecting me? Because I do, like, I pick up on people's energies constantly.
Yeah, and there's more and more of us. This is a huge topic of conversation, as I said, in what I do. I probably 9 times out of 10 people I talk to in my spiritual life are empaths, which obviously we're attracting each other, but there's more and more people like this, and some people have no idea they are. Empaths, I just have some notes here. Empaths, it's like that sixth sense you've got about people. That's a telltale, and heed it because it's always right. We are like the fortune tellers, so we actually know authenticity, we know honesty, because we can sense that, and that is one of our gifts. But you have to be attuned to it to actually honor it, because you're right. And when I was growing up, for instance, my brother is an empath as well. Whether he knows it or not, I don't know. But even when we were in high school, he could peg people. He said, no, I don't like them. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like them? And I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt. Another empathic quality. They are very giving and nurturing and loving. So they are always trying to help and heal. So you will often, as an empath, be taken advantage of because you have that quality. But what your gut says and what that images you feel is always right. So he would always be right. First meeting, he would peg a person. I'm like, no, they're fine. And it'd be 2 or 3 times when I wasn't as in tune. This is a lot of years ago. I'm like, oh, he was right. But it's that initial thing, like, you know, right off the bat whether the person, for simplistic reasons, good, bad, for you or not. You're going to know that right away. You also have a huge need to recharge. So when you're in those situations that are overwhelmed, you need to recharge after that. So if you're going on a conference, for instance, this has always been the case for me when I've been in huge crowds over several days. And I used to be an event planner, so I'd be in events with 1,000 people for 4 days. I would need 3 or 4 days after to recharge completely. And also, if you don't heed the warning of your empathic side and what the information you're getting, like your download, you're gonna get sick. If you overdo it, you're gonna get sick. If you have too much input energetically, you're going to get sick, and that can manifest in various ways. For me, I have a cold, and that's because I did too much last week. I saw too many people. I was out too much, and that's my spirit telling me, no, 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 you did this wrong, and I need this recharging time. And that can come out not necessarily in just it can come out in worse ways. So you always have to heed that, just because we are so in tune as empaths with our physical being as well. We also need to honor our introvertedness. I don't think anybody in my life would describe me as an introvert. And I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, yeah, I am, because I need that recharge time. So I can be really up there and out there, and first to talk to people and in a crowd and just being myself. But I also really, really need my downtime. I need to go inside and heal and calm and ground and recover and rejuvenate. And that's a huge, huge, huge lesson that's come to me over my experience of this over the last few years, that I really need that recharge time. And that's the introvert in me. I just go into my little hidey hole, and that's my recharge time. It's absolutely necessary in any empath's world, whether you are an extrovert introvert or an introvert, you need that recharge time. And we are hypersensitive to emotion and just energy. So it can be, for me, for instance, anything that is upsetting, I am a bawling, crying mess. Usually when it's somebody who is grieving, or somebody I know well, especially, I'm taking them in, and I'm just sometimes more upset than they are, and I get extremely emotional and hypersensitive with stuff in my own personal life that is usually around illness or death, or even the thought of death is overwhelming to me, and I'm hypersensitive to it. So there's that sensitivity that you might think, okay, why am I overreacting to this? You're not. You're an empath. So just know that. And the intensified emotions. So we love very, very deeply once we connect with somebody, and everything else we feel at this hypersensitive level. So those are some major things you need to know.
Well, I feel like that is totally totally attracts like I feel like that is everyone in my life. And you know what's really interesting is that if people aren't empaths, and like I just there's a missing piece of connection for me.
Yep.
So it's really interesting to hear you talk about all
get you.
They don't get me, and I don't get them. Fair enough, right? Like it's just we're on like we're doing this.
And so, maybe because I can think of people who I have that don't get me friendship, and the friendships here, and then with my friends who get me, it's so much a so much deeper connection, a deeper friendship.
Yeah. So then would you say that, because I think as empaths, sometimes we try to really make people get us, and get frustrated when people don't. So would you say that...
nurturing, you always want to be helping people. Yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe sometimes it's just enough to let people be where they are, and you be where you are, and understand that sometimes friendships and relationships will just be surface, because you won't see eye to eye, maybe never, right, on certain things.
Absolutely. And as an empath, that's really important to honor, because that relationship, if you're trying to fix it so they get you, is going to completely drain you, because you're just not meant to be at that deeper level with that person. And that's fine. That is fine. That is fine. Love them for where they are and as open as their mind is.
Yeah, totally. Well, and they're probably like, you know, like other people probably look at empaths and think, my gosh, that person is so dramatic, right? Like, my gosh, they go so deep in conversation. Like, geez, can't we just talk about movies? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. Yeah. The other huge thing for empaths is connection to nature.
Okay.
So it really grounds you and resets you as well. So if you're outside, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Shinrin Ryoku. It's forest bathing, but just getting all of that goodness from a forest, literally going up and hugging a tree will do wonders for an empath, because you're getting all that goodness from nature. Just being outside in nature is huge for recharging. Absolutely, I would say, imperative to our existence. Get outside as much as you can, because it's especially within trees, within a forest. If you can, walk on the grass, take your shoes, well, now we can take your shoes off, walk on the grass, get connected in a real way to nature, because that's rejuvenating us, and that's the grounding piece.
I hear you. I hear you. I feel it when I haven't gotten outside as much as I'd like. It's that's draining for sure.
Yeah. And you just feel, I had a really hard time this winter, even though I was out on weekends and stuff. It was a very dark winter. It was a very, it was just a really weird winter. The darkness was profound to me. And I really need the sun. This morning I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to rain this afternoon, but look, it's blue sky. So it made me ecstatic this morning. But that is key, even on those days when it's really gross and yucky outside. If we can connect with nature, going into a forest, going near flowers, even buying flowers, buying a little plant and loving on that plant is going to be huge for us in the bad months. Luckily, we're going into the nice months, so they'll be easier.
Totally. But I also find that it's really important too to be on nature's side no matter what it's doing, you know? So like with rain, like I just have found it so comforting to know that rain is washing away winter, you know, and like getting us ready for spring, right? And it's okay. Like I go outside and I'm like, oh, okay, it's raining, good. Like we're cleansing, you know?
Exactly.
So try to be on nature's side in any way that it's there, I think has been helpful for me at least. But,
absolutely. Yeah. And it was definitely cleansing. I got stuck in the rain today and everything washing off the sidewalks. I'm like, oh, so nice.
You didn't have to take a shower when you got home. It was perfect.
I had my hood up. My shoes and my pants were soaking wet. I forgot my umbrella.
That's okay.
I was really connecting with nature.
There was a reason. Yeah. Well, I love this, Alison, and I think it's so important to distinguish, you know, and to just really know what we are and where we sit and how we feel. So is there anything else that you'd like to share before we sign off?
I'm always open to talking and chatting and mentoring anybody if they want to talk about this or anything else in the spiritual realm. Lots of insight and energy around that. And
you've mentored quite a few of the Happy Healthy Women as well so far, and so and I know I've heard some fabulous. Well, I mean, I've known you for years, so I know that it's all good. But people tell me all this time as well that you have just been fabulous for them and have helped them really, really see their intuition and get in touch with that side of them and really move forward with clarity. So that's amazing.
And I can also help with the clarity. I have a lot of people who come to me because I'm an intuitive. So they'll come to me just, which should I do? What path should I take? I'm just not sure. And really, it's just clarification, because deep down they do know.
Yeah.
But I can provide the intuitive side, whether it's an angel reading, I read their angels, or doing an intuitive reading,
Cool.
or just sitting and chatting. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Lots
I love
of
it.
different ways.
Yeah. And
that
so
comes through.
I'm sure. So I'm gonna post. We will post your link under this video in the vault for sure, and on Facebook. But it's liveloveandjoy.com. Okay, not that's it. Live love
A&D, not ampersand.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.com, and you can find out more about Alison there. You can book a session with her if you'd like to. Get in touch with her, and yeah, Alison is all kinds of awesome and intuition and lovely. So yeah, thank you so much, Alison, for all that you do and all that you bring to Happy Healthy Women. You're amazing.
And I do work on Skype or Zoom as well. I don't have to actually be. It's better if you're in the GTA in person.
Yeah,
more fun.
Yeah,
but I don't have to be in person. It works. It works online.
Perfect. Yeah, that works. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your knowledge this evening. I really appreciate it, and I loved this call. It's so much information that you've just solidified so much for me and clarified so much for me, and I really
because we've never actually talked about all of this.
We haven't. No. We haven't. But there's a reason why we've been connected, right?
Yes.
So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Divine intervention.
That's it. Thank you, Al. Love you so much.
And I like my ray. Do you like my ray?
Yeah, you've always got a beam of sunlight on you.
It's the white light coming in.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Thank you, Nat, for having me.
Thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.